Get ready for an unbelieva-bao time. This is our review of Steam Up.
Steam Up is a resource management set collection game about collecting the most dim sum, and I love everything about this game.
The theme is great, the production value is great, and most of all, it's fun. We'll tell you all about it after this quick how to play.
The game is played in rounds, with each player taking a turn each round.
Players will collect food tokens that they can exchange for dim sum steamers if their tokens match the items in the steamers.
Players will place the dim sum from their steamer onto their boards and gain the hardy points listed.
After a steamer is taken from the turntable, the steamer counter will move down by 1. When it reaches 0, the end game is triggered.
At the end of the game, players can earn a point for every 2 fortune cards and lose a point for every 2 extra food tokens.
Once all the points have been added up, the player with the most points wins. Before you go off eating dim sum, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button.
All your likes and subscribes really help our channel grow, so thank you again.
This is another one of those games that we backed on Kickstarter a long time ago, and I'm really glad that we did. Past Lee and Past Kenny made a good choice with this one. I'd say I really like the production value, which is what initially drew me into the Kickstarter. It has the cool little steamers, it has the squishies that represent the dim sums, and they're actually the shapes of it. This is the deluxe version, but you gotta go with the deluxe version in this case. And I just really love the look of it in the Kickstarter. And then when it finally came in and we opened up the box, I was like, yes, this looks how I wanted it to look. I hope it plays as fun as it could be. This is a very intro level game. I wouldn't say that you could teach a very young child to play this if all they know how to play is Go Fish or something like that. But if anyone's played any type of board game ever in their life, you can definitely teach them how to play this game because it's a simple set collection. You gotta collect the tokens, the food tokens that match up the food items in the steamer, and then you can get the steamer. So for example, this steamer, you'd need the shrimp dumpling, the bao, and the steamed rice. So you get those 3 tokens, you exchange it for this, you get these 3 from your dim sum steamer, you put these on your board, you get those points. Very simple, very intro. Basically, anybody can be taught how to play this game.
I vaguely recall you talking about this. You're like, oh, there's this game, it's Steam Up. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. However, when you brought it to the table, I was like, wow, that actually looks really cool. Not that I doubted you. However, the pieces are great, has a little like Lazy Susan-ish turntable here. And then even the pieces, the character pieces are representative of the Chinese zodiac. So I thought that was really cool because I'm like, oh, where's mine? Okay, let me find my character. Because I'm all about like you having your own like unique character, unique abilities or goals or things like that.
So each character is represented by the Chinese zodiac. So there are 12 different characters that you can play as. I'm sure that they did some weighting and measuring and play testing to make sure that they're all kind of equal. However, playing this a few times, I feel like certain characters are better. Maybe certain characters just fit my play style better than other characters, because maybe we just need to play more times with other players that play in different ways to see if the characters actually work better. I just felt like certain ones were kind of overpowered and they kind of steer you in the direction of which way you should go with your strategy based on the character you're playing. For example, I feel like the tiger is one of the weaker ones, and the tiger is our symbol, so that's why we were both playing with it. And I just felt like the ability that you get and how you score points just wasn't as strong as some of the other ones whenever we were playing. I feel like a lot of the other characters were always getting more points consistently throughout the game. Yeah, you can catch up, but you never really feel like you're gonna win. And I've never won with the tiger. I don't know, I just feel like there's not weighted properly. I'm sure that it is. However, just from my anecdotal experience of playing it the few times that we did, I don't feel like they're weighted properly.
I have to kind of agree with you on that. As far as asymmetric powers go, reading it when you first get your character, because we chose it randomly each time. We chose it and we're like, oh man, that sounds way cooler though. So I don't know if it's like the grass is always greener on the other side, but every time I got a different character, I was like, oh, the other one sounded cooler.
The other mechanics of this game are the fortune cards, which every player starts off with a certain number depending on what your player board says. And on your turn, you can play a fortune card as one of your actions, and it'll give you a new action that you can play. So it'll let you draw another dim sum out of the bag randomly. It'll let you exchange cards. It'll let you turn in cards to move up on points. Lots of different things that you can do. So even though you really only have a few actions that you can do on your turn, when you play a card, it gives you a lot more options of what you can do. But if you can get some good luck of the draws with these fortune cards and then play them at the right time, that's really the key to winning this game.
One of the key mechanics whenever you're doing your moves is sometimes after some moves, you're allowed to rotate the table. That's kind of cool because it mimics like if we were actually eating, right? Like, okay, this is on my side, let me get some of that. All right, let's move it. However, I feel like I didn't have to think too hard about whether or not I should move it and plan because, by the time 1, 2, 3, and then it came back to me, it would more than likely be where I needed to be. It wouldn't be completely so far away that I couldn't get the one that I wanted.
So there's a lot that I like about this game, but it does have its faults. It's not a perfect game. It does get a little repetitive as you go. The more players that you're playing with, the more repetitive it's going to get as you're just collecting food tokens, getting it. And then especially it can get aggravating if you're collecting food tokens and someone else takes your steamer. But that's a normal thing in any game that could be a little aggravating. Also, the fortune cards, which I think can really help you out, it is luck of the draw. So if you just happen to draw a lot of crappy ones and the player next to you draws a lot of great ones, you're gonna feel like, oh, wow, they're doing really well. I'm not doing too well. So there is that luck of the draw component with the fortune cards. And I feel like that can be fixed with some expansion, with some more or something like that. I just feel like there's not enough good fortune cards to equal out the ones that are really good. And then just as Lee was mentioning, the rotating of the turntable. I like the mechanic and I like the thought process and the theming of that. However, the turning of it is a take that mechanic where if I'm sitting in front of Lee and I know he needs something, but I can't do it, I'll draw a fortune card just to purposely rotate it so that he's gonna have to play a card or draw a card and rotate it back. There is that take that element, which we usually like in games, and it doesn't bother me too much. However, I know that recently take that's gotten a really bad rap. So if you don't like take that, there's a little bit of take that with the rotation, and some of the fortune cards will also let you steal from opponents as well.
I can't emphasize or reiterate enough that you need to get the deluxe version. These little squishy pieces are just awesome. I mean, even this one I would have called it a chicken's foot, but it's what, Phoenix Talon? I was like, oh, okay, that sounds so much better. Phoenix Talon.
I think that's just a special name. It is literally a chicken's foot, like if you were eating it.
I know, but Phoenix Talon just sounds so like, oh, what's that? Like, give me the, I mean, I wouldn't eat it, but Phoenix Talon, please. So I'll say it again. I love everything about this game. The pieces, the artwork, the mechanics, just the era. It's so fun. It's light. Everyone can have fun. Everyone can joke around like, that's mine. Give it to me. Overall, I'm going to give this 8.5.
Overall, I enjoy a lot about this game. I think it's a lot of fun. I think if you just enjoy board games and you like to have fun with board games, then you should definitely check this out. You need to play the deluxe version because without the fun, cool pieces, I don't think it has the same allure that I would normally say that this game could have, because normally these would just be cardboard pieces and I'd be like, it's fun, but it's not fun. So I'd have to say that you have to have the deluxe version. It has some faults, but overall I'm gonna give it an 8. And that was our review of Steam Up.
What'd you think? Are you ready for this game to walk your world? Let us know in the comments below.
And if you're enjoying our content, please like this video, subscribe to our channel.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
And I'm Kenny. I go party like a board gamer.